Hi guys, Sam here with you. It's Friday afternoon, the 11th of January here, and we're going to wrap up with a look at EOS to Bitcoin. This is by request from the members here. So this is a tough one. This is a bit why I'm a bit late here getting this done. This is very challenging here because there's just a couple of different ways this could play out. Now I do have us coming out of this triangle, and then so this would be the bullish case. Right now I have a bullish bias here. I'm a bull on EOS long term, so that may be influencing me here, but I'm trying to be objective on this. So as we analyze here, there's a couple of things to note here. So this triangle looks pretty solid here. Now let me pull this off here. So clearly we have stiff resistance here, so we can obviously see that. So there is a case to be made for this being a good low down here. But what's followed is a little problematic. Now, I'm on the 2 hour here, so we can get 5 coming down here. I can get a 1, 2, 3. It's a skinny little 4, I know it. And that 3 is long enough, which, of course, check that. So if that's our 1, that's our 2. Well, we get the 1, 2, 7, 2 for the 3, 4, and then the extensions in the 5. Right, very much of a V-bottom format here. Now, where it gets tricky is coming off the low. Excuse me. So as we look here, it looks like you can make a pretty strong case for a diagonal into that 1. So here's the 5. So we can go. Yeah, it's the size of this. So it looks like A, B, C. And boy, you might even have to go A, B, truncated C. It's very tough to get it. It almost looks more like an ABC, so you go A, B, A, B, C, pardon me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 1, but then the 2 is good. So if we go from here as the 1, we come right to the 50, just where you'd expect it. And now we've been through this a couple of times here, and then 1, 2, all right, it blows right through a third target here. So because we're hitting here, we know that's going to be very close to the 1618. So if I draw that up here, if this is correctly identified as the 1 and this is the 2, all right, well here we're a little shy of it here, but I think we need this as the 1, 2 for the finish of the 5, which runs right into that resistance here from where we broke down. Now, if you look there, I can certainly get the subdivision into a 3. So the question is, how do we label this and identify this? Now, it's tempting to think 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and then we come up here and truncated 5th or a failure 5, but I don't think that fits. And the reason I say that is because the symmetry would be so god awful. So here's just a simple, and it's almost tough to get you'd have to go A, B, C into that. But if this were an ABC if this were the ABC, that symmetry is just way off, right? This is way too much of a 4 relative to this move here. So what I think we get is a truncated 5 here, because I can get 5 in that. So I think we have a failure 5 here. I should say a truncated 5th here to complete this impulse. So if that's off here, and then additionally, if this 2 is correctly identified here, and we go up for the 3, and here, so A, B, C down for this. Now so this is a lower low, so it may be that your 4 is here, so you'd have to go A, B, C, and you could probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a very tiny little C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just ugly no matter how you slice it here. But I think this plays better, and it sets up the bullish count here. Now, of course, the critical level here would be if we can hold this. So as a bull, we could look here and say, okay, we got a truncated 5, but that gives us a 1 wave, potentially, right? Potentially, just a 1 wave. ABC down here. So you'd have to be looking at that from the low, thinking, okay, well, we didn't quite make the 50, right? That's our high probability zone, but it's not that radical that we don't quite make it there. We get through the 38. This is not that uncommon to not make the 50 here. That's the sweet spot, but we don't get it, right? But we do have this nice ABC to come down. Well, to follow that, we do get an ABC here. So you have, and this is a very clear 5. So you get an A, ABC into a B. You can dig 5 out of there. So it looks like you get an ABC into a 1. This looks like, well, you've got a double top here as all of this. Right, this is much like we're seeing across crypto, all of these double tops and double bottoms. You can make that case that you can get an AB into this. Now, you can't have, this can't be a 2, so you can't go 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's tough, right? So not very impulsive. So if this count were to be playing as 1, whether it's here, it can do that. It just can't. The 2 can't go below this pivot. So that's why I have this wicked off here. This would be the last stand for bulls. Now there is, so if that's playing as a 2 here, get it right on there. Well, let's get our 887 on there. Last stand for a 2. The wick's a bit through it, but you could this maybe, or if we're going to come down here and test it again, get another double bottom. We just can't take out this pivot. That would invalidate this count. Then we got to rethink the whole thing. Maybe it's ugly no matter how you look at it. ABC, we're starting down. You could have 1, 2 because we don't violate this pivot here. It's just, really, what have you got? You got simplify. We got a big fat box between 50s. That's what we got here, and the volume profile, we're just supporting that here. Now I'm visible range off of this low, so we're just looking at everything, the volume profile for all of this. All right, and you can see the point of control. You can understand why. So if this is not that crazy here if we can hold this. So despite the depth of that, you have this as well. Of course, this would always be something you'd consider here, but we fail here. So even, you see, then you might think possibly a modifier, but then are you force fitting? Right? This was all teed up here to go and get that, and it can't get through the resistance. So failure swing, or a failure to make the median line. So we have a corner pocket here. Failure to make the median line implies weakness, a move equal to or greater than the move that preceded it that failed. All right, that would be a perfect double bottom here. Now we don't have to get there, but that's how you would interpret it. So if I look at that and then think, maybe are we coming back the other way? Is there anything here that you can look for? Well, right, that would save you, right? If you can do it, if you can get down there and get that. Now we have this little spike here, the little surprise. Oh, F you, back down we go. But we can't, if we're going median line, we'd invalidate this pivot. So this count, as I have it here, would not work, as we'd invalidate with the break of that pivot. So right now, of course, there's the possibility that this comes down here. We don't make the median line. It's tough, right? It's tough to call it here with your Elliott hat on. And so what can you say? Well, I've got swing low, swing high, and we're holding above the 50. So not unreasonable to think that if we're going to come down here, so this would be another corner pocket. All right, all right, let's get it right on there. Bear with me here. It looks like I'm a little sloppy there. Let's get it right on that. How are we over here? Yeah, let's get it right. You got to get those nailed down. Okay, there we go. Let's pull that back out. So it's tight, right? So you could look at that and say, well, I've got a swing low, swing high. If I hold the 50, there's no reason to assume that, right? Well, we know. I don't even have to say it that way. We know an algo is going to kick in to buy there with that target, right? Now, of course, it could go down here, right? Same target, right? Same buying pressure will be there to try and defend, and then of course you have this prior proposed wave 1 down here to offer some potential support down here. So the Elliott count is a bit ugly here. And then you got to keep it in the context of the larger trend, which is certainly bearish. So are we digging our way out of here? We don't have enough information to really make any sort of a reasonable probability play here until we get more information. So either this low has to break to invalidate this count, or we have to kick out of here to offer the possibility that this is a 1-2, and we've got a diagonal starting, and that we could have 1-2. Now I feel the inhale of the hopium there. I understand that. So it's not, you know, you wouldn't tee that up and go, oh, here's the trade I want. Well, of all the choices you have across the cryptosphere, this is one I duly noted. All right, marked here. I put an alert on that. I'll come back to it later if I get some more clarity. So no reason to jump into anything here because of this. Just we're chopping. We're just going. We're essentially going sideways. So if you're not in the trade, I like the idea of being a buyer down here at some of these levels. Of course, we'll have to relabel and reconsider the count. Certainly like that idea of coming down here to catch the, well, so what would we have here? If we got that here, so that tees up pretty nicely. If we got that outcome, you know, you'd have a median line at the golden zone. Hard not to like that. So maybe we got to, maybe you have to come back to this as the 5. All right, so that, and just live with the poor symmetry. 1, 2, A, B, C, and it's, boy, it's just, boy, that's so off. The size of the 4 to the 2, I just don't love it. And I don't, well, it wouldn't be the craziest thing I've ever seen, but I don't like it enough to trade it. I wouldn't put capital at risk on that because of the poor structure and the lack of symmetry here. So again, it could resolve. We could come out of here. It could be that this is just a truncated 5 and this ABC is a 2, right? So we'd be looking for this. And I think that's likely how I would consider it. Am I 1? Yeah, I would. So let's see. We'd have, this would be the 1. Let's go up a degree here and see if we can get that to make sense. So here's the alternate. So if that's the 5 here on a failure swing, running into this resistance. So this would have to be your ABC. We'd have to go this way. You're acknowledging the very poor structure and symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 completes the 1. So ABC coming down. So we need more. This, with the exception of the poor symmetry, so if we break this, this is the next count I would go to, allowing for this, for that poor symmetry here. But then A, B, right? I mean, it's deep. It's not a bad B. So A, B coming down. We're in the process. I'd be looking for that C down here. So that actually sets up a pretty buy down here. You got support here. You got a golden zone. You got a median line. I mean, what's not to like there? A, B, C. What do we do here? Let's see if that is our A and that's our B. Well, right here. So interesting. Right into the high probability zone for a 3 now. So I suppose the more bearish proposal would be that this is A, B. Maybe we got a truncated or double top here into an A, B, C. So you could be thinking A, B, C, and now we're starting down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be the ultra bearish view. I think until this golden zone breaks, you can stay on the leaning bullish here. Let's get this out of here. I'm just looking to see if there's anything that I'm missing here. I'm going to go back out. Let's go to a 2-hour here. All right, so when in doubt, you gotta pull out to some structure and see what's there. What am I missing? Well, of course, the one thing that is very pervasive in EOS are all of these V's. Right? Here's one. All right, we got this one, and they seem to retrace. I mean, almost exactly to where they came from. Now this one doesn't make it. Let me. I mean, you could call it this same thing. Another V. Another V. Right? Look at all of these. It moves. It's you know, we go down the escalator, we go up the stairs. Right. So it looks like just lots of just V. Everywhere you look, I got V bottoms. You can make a case you got another one. I mean, they're just all over the place in here. It's just scream lower, retrace. Give it away, take it all back. Again, just everywhere you look, they're all over the place. V bottoms. Or V, let's call it a V pattern. It's just everywhere you look, right? So is this anything different, right? So, you know, trying to use your Elliott tool set to get out of here and come off of this low. maybe too optimistic to think that this is 1-2 because of the depth of that, and because it certainly doesn't look like it's finished yet. So this would be the alternate. So I'd have both of them. As I've told you guys many times, I'd have both of them so you don't lose track of them. Just save them, right? Save it as a template or whatever, however you want to do it, or have a quad here with a couple of different time frames and a couple of different counts on this, so you can, one's invalidated, you move to the other one. If we do come down here, of course, we'll have the potential. If we get that golden zone, then we'll have this, right? That's the median line. That's the perfect median line setup, right? So one median line leads into the other median line at a golden corner pocket. That's the one you dream about, right? Getting that one. So you get it on the way down, then you get it coming back up. So that's certainly possible, certainly in play, right? If we come down to this, right? So this becomes the 1, and A, B come down for the C. There's your 2, and then it tees up for a nice push out of here, looking for those median lines. Now, if you're going to get a real 3 out of that, well, we know where that's likely to go. Here would be the big target up here. So you could have median line followed by median line going after the big 3. That's the... Yeah, I know I just took another hit off my hopium pipe, but it's not radical, right? It's just off of the count here. I can't say I don't like that, right? So for a nice roadmap, so because I don't really like anything here, I'd wait for that, right? Again, assuming that the initial count we went through gets invalidated on the break of this low, then you immediately, that's the benefit of having an alternate. So you eliminate the first, come back here and say, boy, could that play? Sure, no reason to assume it wouldn't. Right? If we break this low, right? So that was the caveat. If we break this low, all right, we've gone up. So really, you've gone up. Yeah, we did get the outside edge here. I think the 1.5 catches that. So if I go, let's check the 1.5 on that outside rip. Yeah, catches it to the tick. I don't like the modifier on this, so I think that's actually a pretty reasonable roadmap here. If this plays, so first thing, does this low break? If that breaks, this is right where I'm looking to add. Right, if median lines aside, Elliott wave aside, swing low, swing high, I'm at a golden zone. All right, well, why would you not take it? Right, you put the stop right under the 65. Shit, that's going to be just for fun. What do we get there? You can be tight. You want to give it a little room. Want to give it to the 786. There's 8-1. Want to be tight under the 65. 22-1. Again, why not take that trade? Right. The risk is so small there. Now that's, again, it's not your retirement account, but there's certainly a trade there, right? With some juicy upside, and not based on hopium. That's looking at the structure. Yeah, right. So would I take another hit if we come off of that? Yeah, I would. All right. So into the 3, 4, 5. So that sets up, right? If we get that, then the 4 and the 5, and then we got a new trend. So that's pretty much what I see there. That's how I would play this. So I stay long. I like this as a place to add. I don't think there's a trade sitting here right now if you're not in the market. All right, guys, that's probably enough there. So we'll wait and see here. There's a lot of wait and see. We need resolutions through so much of this. We've had this push off of the extreme lows that we made this year, and not terribly impulsive as we've dealt with the retracement of this. So it's a little suspect in here, but we'll wait and see. All right, that would be that's the beauty trade. Maybe we'll catch that. All right, guys, everyone have a good weekend. We'll be back to you on Monday.